Another day, another outrage. Imagine that. So what's the problem this time that has the outrage mob up in arms? Well, it turns out that CD Projekt Red has once again offended the hell out of a very small vocal minority on Twitter. So what has the NPCs triggered this time? Well, it just so happens to be another joke that CD Projekt Red told on the official GOG Twitter account. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, the official Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter made a "Did you just assume their gender" joke, and the complete meltdown that followed was absolutely hilarious. Well, it's a very similar case this time around, but the outrage has grown even larger. So let's take a look at some of these headlines from our favorite mainstream gaming outlets to try and figure out what could possibly be so awful that CD Projekt Red said this time around. Also, it's important to note that CD Projekt Red owns GOG. It is their digital games marketplace. Just in case you didn't know that, it's important to know going into this. So here is a headline from Kotaku. GOG account publishes yet another awful tweet. I can only imagine how horrendous this tweet would have to be to set Kotaku off of all places. But let's keep going. If you guys are familiar with my channel, you probably recognize this website, Game Revolution. You know, the wonderful mix of communism and gaming that was featured in my Doom Eternal video. Well, their headline reads, "How GOG and CD Projekt Red are ruining their public image." I mean, this site is obviously very sensible and definitely doesn't have a reputation for being easily offended by jokes in video games. Oh wait, never mind. But still, this doesn't really give us an idea of what exactly was just so awful in order to prompt this coordinated assault on CD Projekt Red by the media. So let's take a look at one last headline from Polygon. Their headline reads, "GOG's Twitter account posts transphobic pun, then deletes it. Oh, the horror." So why don't we just take a look at this transphobic pun? "Classic PC games hashtag won't be erased on our watch." Yeah, how's that for some use of hashtags? Can't you just feel the hatred?
Let the hate flow through you.
Now, in case you may be wondering, like most normal people are at this point, what the hell does this tweet have to do with being transgender? How the hell could anyone perceive this as being transphobic? Well, if you look into the particular trending hashtag won't be erased, you will find a bunch of people who are autistically screeching about this fake news article that is claiming that transgender people are no longer going to be represented as citizens, and it's based off of complete fake news, and it's a bunch of people all up in arms. Honestly, I'm not going to go into detail here, because it's honestly not of any interest to me whatsoever. But the whole point of this entire non-issue is that CD Projekt Red used a trending hashtag as a pun to advertise that they will prevent classic games from being erased since they don't enforce DRM policies. That is the extent of this non-issue. Even the witty use of a trending hashtag is now off limits in 2018 to these clowns. So of course we saw the typical outrage response from the typical crowd of gamers who definitely play video games. You know, the type of people like furries, users with their chosen pronouns listed in their bio, and of course the verified accounts of our favorite social justice commentators. Oh, sorry, I mean games journalists. What caused this particular situation to escalate as much as it did this time is because while CD Projekt Red deleted the tweet and issued a response, they have not in any way apologized whatsoever for this tweet, unlike the previous time where they issued a half-assed apology basically saying, "We're sorry that you got offended over the 'did you just assume their gender' joke." In fact, let's take a look at their response. Yesterday, we posted a tweet containing a trending hashtag as a pun. The tweet was neither intended as a malicious attack nor as a comment to the ongoing social debate. GOG should focus only on games. We acknowledge that and we commit to it. No mention of "we're sorry." Instead, they are putting the blame where it belongs, on the degenerates who sit on Twitter just waiting to get offended for no other reason than to get attention. The amount of virtue signaling that has taken place today is downright pathetic, but at the same time, it is hilarious to laugh at. I think I've been blocked by at least 10 people I got into conversations with over this very issue, one of those being a fairly prolific person in the YouTube gaming community who works as a producer for the Game Theorist and Shoddycast. I've never actually heard of either of those channels, but it turns out the Game Theorist has like over 11 million subscribers. So someone by the name of Austin Horrigan, he actually responded to one of my tweets about this. He works works as the producer on both of those, like I mentioned, but he apparently was deeply offended by the tweet from CD Projekt Red and demanded an apology. But when I confronted him about what exact reason he had to be offended over, he instantly blocked me, fearing a scenario where he might have to use logic and reason to explain himself. But then again, if we take a look at his bio on Twitter, it reveals a lot. Mad scientist producer at Game Theorist and Shoddycast. Kind of ironic the word scientist being in all caps considering the subject matter of this issue. But anyway, let's keep going. Black Lives Matter, ideologically impure, and the real kicker here, I'm medicated and have a therapist. Now that is something truly to be proud of. Now the outrage doesn't end there, because later we found out that a world famous developer announced that they would be immediately removing their games that no one has ever heard of from the GOG platform in a statement issued on Twitter. I don't know if you've heard of the prolific developers at Zombie Orpheus Entertainment, because I sure as hell have not, but they are a huge developer, obviously, really sticking it to GOG by pulling their games from the GOG marketplace in a crushing blow to CD Projekt Red, I am sure. So they issued a statement which can be best summed up in their initial tweet. We are canceling our contract with GOG and have asked them to remove our films from their platform immediately. Zombie Orpheus Entertainment does not do business with companies that express hate speech. Yes, because puns are hate speech. I simply responded to them asking the question we all wanted to know the answer to. Does anyone actually care? And within seconds, block. Whatever will I do not being able to stay up to date with the latest news from Zombie Orpheus Entertainment? So all in all, what happened here was the outrage mob doing what outrage mobs do best. Sit on Twitter 24/7 in the hopes of something popping up that they can claim to be offended by in their desperate attempt to gain every ounce of precious attention they can get directed towards them in their pitiful, meaningless lives. I mean, honestly, if you actually found this tweet offensive, you need to put down your phone, get off your ass, and go have some real face-to-face human interaction, because nothing that was said by CD Projekt Red should be perceived by anyone, trans or not, to be offensive. In fact, to make this a little more interesting, to thank CD Projekt Red for not bowing to these ass clowns and not apologizing, let's go ahead and give them some positive reinforcement. As Liquid Plays said on Twitter, I think I'm gonna go buy some more games from GOG. In fact, let's do just that right now. Now, I may be quadruple dipping on The Witcher 3, considering I already own the game digitally on PS4, Xbox One, and Steam, but I think I'll buy it again just to show some support to the amazing developers of this game and support their great service that is GOG, that does not shove DRM down our throats and does not bow to SJW, or better yet, NPC mob mentality that consistently tries to ruin the games industry for everyone else. Or maybe you could just say that my love for The Witcher 3 hashtag won't be erased. Yeah, fucking sue me. And purchased. Go show them some love on Twitter and let them know that their actual fans and customers support them. With that being said, that does it for this video. As always, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Oh yeah, and follow me on Twitter, link in the description.